You've been watching this case unfold, from the raids, to the courtroom battles, to the rumors that never seem to stop. And on October 3rd, 2025, the story reached a turning point. Sean "Diddy" Combs, once one of the most powerful figures in music, stood in a federal courtroom, waiting to hear how much of his freedom he would lose. To understand how big this moment is, you have to look at who Diddy was. He wasn't just a rapper, he was a brand. Bad Boy Records, clothing lines, liquor endorsements, a net worth in the hundreds of millions. But behind the success, accusations had been swirling for years. Whispered stories of parties, of control, of exploitation. In 2023, those whispers grew louder. By 2024, they turned into lawsuits, federal charges, and eventually, a trial that had everyone watching. In July 2025, Diddy faced the trial that would define his legacy. The charges? Racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, transporting women across state lines for prostitution. The courtroom heard testimony after testimony, some shocking, some disputed. Prosecutors painted a picture of a man running what they called freakoffs, while the defense argued he was being targeted and exaggerated. When the jury came back, the results split opinion. Diddy was acquitted of racketeering, acquitted of sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion. But he was found guilty on 2 counts: transporting women across state lines for prostitution, violations of the Mann Act. And then came October 3rd, the day of sentencing. The courtroom was packed. Reporters, supporters, critics, all waiting for the moment. Judge Arun Subramanian addressed Diddy directly. He spoke of patterns of abuse and coercion described throughout the case. He made it clear that despite the jury's acquittals on some charges, the evidence presented had left a mark. The sentence, 50 months in federal prison. A $500,000 fine, and 5 years of supervised release after his release. Time already spent in custody would count toward the term. Meaning, Diddy could be free again in just over 3 years. In that moment, reactions were mixed. Some in the room were silent, staring straight ahead. Others broke down. Diddy himself sat still, showing little emotion. Outside the courthouse, cameras rolled as supporters and critics clashed. For some, the sentence was proof of accountability. For others, it was either too much or not enough. But one thing was certain: it was a moment people had waited for since the beginning of this case. So what now? Diddy's legal team has already promised to appeal. They argue that the judge factored in evidence tied to charges he wasn't convicted of. That appeal could reshape the case. At the same time, civil lawsuits continue to move forward. Even as he begins serving his time, the battles in court and in public opinion are far from over. His empire? Brands have distanced themselves, partnerships have faded, and the future of everything he built now hangs in the balance. October 3rd, 2025 will be remembered as the day Diddy's story shifted. From music mogul and cultural icon, to a man serving time in federal prison. For those who have followed every step of this case, it wasn't just about one sentence. It was about watching one of the most powerful figures in hip-hop stand trial in a way few ever imagined possible. The courtroom has spoken. But the story? It's still unfolding. Appeals, civil suits, and the long shadow this case leaves on the music industry, it's not over yet. You've been following this case. You've seen every headline. Now the question is, where does it go from here? Stay tuned with Gossip Season.